I am recording. So, again, your resources are limited. Your stories are not. So, what's happening in institutions nationwide? SID departments or sports communication offices or athletic departments in general are getting squeezed. Limited staff. A lot of your institutions have 15, 20, 25 sports activities. This is meant to be able to address not just your core varsity sports, but even club sports that you might have at your college that could use a lot more exposure. What does this platform do? It changes the face of coverage by really providing a resource. We've heard this from our beta users that it's almost like adding dozens of people to your staff. It enables all sports and activities to be covered professionally. And it is a very human powered tool. It does use an AI assist, and we'll show that as we get into the demo. Why do we think this is essential? We've seen smaller colleges struggling right now. Many have closed. We've also done a ton of research. One of the most important things that your institution can do is tell its story, your story, and I'm preaching to the choir, to communication directors. But the front window to the institution is the sports programs and activities that your student athletes are participating in, and telling that story is really important to attract future students, attract faculty. And this is what this platform can do. I've talked a little bit, it can enable incredible coverage. And it also puts the focus on content. We live in a time where content and social media interaction are incredibly important. A couple benefits on the side: alumni engagement can certainly increase because of this added content. And then in your local community, it's always important to be connected to that. And the events that you highlight throughout this platform can really do a good job of even creating a tighter bond between your institution and its local community. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the back end after, but let's just get into a demo here, and show you kind of the sizzle of what we're talking about. So Brown University is actually an early adopter. They've been using it for their rugby program, but I have gone in here and created a brand new rugby story, just kind of using some made up inputs. But for a number of activities, we've created these modules that are specific to that activity. And after each event, you can empower a writer to go in and fill out these very basic inputs for that event. And at the end of it, we will show you how it generates a story. So very basic inputs by such as obviously the name of your team, the level of that team, what's the weather. This is rugby, so weather is very important for rugby. What type of match, who is the opponent, the score at halftime and the final score, who scored tries, conversions. I didn't even answer this: who scored a penalty goal, any additional recognitions that we want to provide here, anything special about the game. Maybe it's a streak, maybe it's a coach's 100th victory or 25th victory, key moments. Again, these can be short answers. The more you put in, the more you get out. There's room for quotes. And what's really exciting is there is room to upload a picture and a video. We know how important video clips are, especially in terms of grabbing the attention of the younger audiences. So there is a video feature here that is only getting better every day as we speak. So I'm going to go ahead. I just input these prior to the call, and I'm going to generate my story. As this story is generating, I'll tell you that a lot of our institutions, which a lot of them are high schools right now nationwide using this, and there's some colleges, mentioning Brown here, you can actually use a voice activated input on your mobile device to do all of these inputs. So it can be very quick, done that way. But you'll see here that we've come up with a draft copy, and it's important that it's a draft, because you, as the communication director or athletic director, obviously need to check your content very closely before it hits the public. So in this draft copy, you'll see this article. I will send this article to you as part of what I send to you right after the presentation. But it comes out with a great draft immediately. Okay. Now, if somebody is empowered as the writer, they will not have approval or publishing rights. They would just save it for approval. It would go to your desk for approval and publishing. So for sake of time, I am going to publish this immediately. Now, when I hit publish, it's important to note it doesn't go anywhere, right? You just publish it, so it goes into a format that will be good for you to then send out after that moment. Let me just hit this again. Oh, there we go. So now it's published. Okay, so now it comes back to your desktop as published, and you can decide at that moment where you want to send it. So you see that we're automatically tied into every social media account. Depending on what device you're going to publish this from, it will go immediately into that account. So I'm going to show you quickly a Facebook example. So if your device is tied into your Facebook page for your athletic department at the university, you automatically have a post and you can immediately share that post right now. Works the same for all of them. As part of that distribution model, there's very easy integration into your school's website, whether you use your own site or a third-party site. That is one click integration into that site. Depending on what site you have, it might be a little bit different. I'm going to get this Big Sports or Big Arm Sports. VNN is another one. So we worked with schools that have all of those. And we've worked through the process of making sure that that integration is really easy. So that's the story generation process. Again, I'll send you this story unedited. After we get off this call, I'm going to jump back into the presentation and get into a little bit about the back end of this. So you see the custom inputs, the stories. I didn't show you how it displays on a mobile device, but you'll see that when I send it to you. If you open your email on your phone, I'll talk about all the different input modules we have. You see lacrosse here, and you saw in real time how quickly these stories can be generated. Here are the modules that we currently have built. You can see that we cover the vast majority of the sports that you might be sponsoring as a school. We're also working on multiple others as we speak. Competitive cheer, competitive dance, beach volleyball, those are in the mix right now. Important to know, though, when we created these modules, we worked with experts in each sport. So, for example, the rugby story that we are going to send to you uses the language of rugby, right? We also worked with journalistic and PR experts to make sure that the stories come out as close to being ready as possible from an AP perspective or a journalistic perspective. But of course, AI is not perfect. And that's why we allow for the editing functions after the initial draft is completed. I've shown you an example of this, how they're professionally formatted, ready to go on social media. They look beautiful on desktop and mobile displays. Everything is clean. There's no advertising in these articles. They're all branded with your school logo. You get the chance to put up whatever logo you'd like to. There is an opportunity for the institution itself to have a sponsor of this, which would be a great way to offset any costs. In fact, based on our years in working in sponsorships, the value of sponsoring these articles far exceeds the subscription price. So that could actually be a monetization asset for your school. On the back end of it, it's very easy to operate. There's only 3 permissions: write, edit, approve, and publish. On the writing side, you can empower as many people at the institution as you want to write articles. Who have we heard are doing this? Students, student trainers. Maybe there's a journalism class that you can hook up with. Assistant coaches, even head coaches for some of the sports that don't get a lot of traction, love doing this. Parents might be one, more so at the high school level than at the college. but we give the credit to the writer in the byline of the article. We've heard that that's really important. We want to make sure we're giving credit to the different folks that you might empower to write these articles. If you want it, this is available to everybody. There's a library of stories that we automatically create for you that you can embed into your website. Those stories can be sorted by sport, by date, etc. But it gives you a real good look of, all of the stories. If people want to go back and go back to a story, they're always there. So now we're getting into subscription information. We believe, based on what's going on, that this is a very affordable investment. These are annual commitment levels. For these levels, we have a summer special that starts now that goes through the end of July. You would get this whole package, which is every sport plus the sports and activities that we're adding, unlimited users for $41.50 for the year. That price will go up to $56.50 beginning on August 1st. Again, we're really making a summer push here to get involvement on the platform. I will also tell you, in addition to these two prices available, and you're one of the first in the college market to hear this, we will offer conference adopter specials. If you're the first in your conference to join, we'd love to work with you. We'd give you a very special rate. We're going to be out trying to make presentations to entire conferences. If you weren't on the call at the very beginning, I will tell you that we just joined CSC. We're going to be out in Las Vegas this week. Hope to see some of you there. We're booth number 20. We will be doing a product theater there, demonstrating the capabilities of this. So we really are making a push to get institutions involved. It says here V2 to launch on August 1st. The reality is that we improve this every day. So you saw some of the features, but we're talking about multiple photos, multiple video integrations. We're talking about being able to simply take a picture of, say, a scorebook, scraping that, putting it into a box score that could sit within the story. All of these are coming and will be added as no additional cost to what those subscription prices right now are. Our last page just talks about the open AI model. I am not a tech expert, but we have plenty on board who have continued to work on this platform. If you're trying to work with AI in your university, and I'm sure you are, it's very hard to scale. It's very hard to put something out there that's on a systematic basis, where you can really control the branding, the look, the feel, the protections around it. And those are the things that we know are very important to your school. So that is it for the presentation. I will again send the presentation to everybody on the call. If anybody has a question, feel free to tap it into the chat function, or you can just unmute and ask a question.